Hi, I'm Ken Romero, not a paid spokesperson, but an actual student of Darrell Chitty's. Where has it gone? The fire that once burned so brightly. Has the flame gone out? The need to create? Or is your body just getting tired? Perhaps you're tired after working so hard to become the very best photographer, only to see amateurs with little skill steal your clients with their low prices. Oh, for the good old days of film again. Perhaps it is time. It's time to turn digital into an advantage. What if you could create an image that no one could duplicate with their little cameras? What if your clients no longer saw you as just another photographer, but as the artist? Would that make a difference? What if you could pick up a brush and make magic happen on a canvas? You may say, "There's no time. I have no skill. This could never happen." And I would say, yes, it can and will happen if you still have that passion to create. Look at this face. Is it just an old man whose time has come and gone? Look closely at those eyes. Those are not the eyes of an old man. That fire is still burning. Monet said, "Every day I discover more and more beautiful things. It's enough to drive one mad. I have such a desire to do everything. My head is bursting with it." What makes these comments so powerful is that they were said by a man who was 80 years old. That fire burned until he died 6 years later. The great ones never stop. Keep searching. Never give up. Look to the masters for answers. They wait, ready to guide you. It will happen. Degas said it best. "No art is less spontaneous than mine. What I do is the result of reflection and the study of the great masters." For the past 18 years, Darrell has immersed himself in the study of the greatest masters of all art. He studied their lives, observed their passion to grow, overcoming all obstacles. They never gave up. He studied their technique, why and how they put the color on their canvas. They became his close companions and advisors. And now Darrell wants to share his knowledge with you in his mentoring program, Techniques of the Masters. In 1 year, you will learn what took 18 years for him to learn. Who is Darrell Chitty? He has no special skills other than the skill of never giving up. He grew up in the Cajun country of South Louisiana. He took scenes like this for granted. He fell in love with the Cajun people and their culture of laissez le bon temps rouler. His father owned an oil transportation business, pushing oil barges up and down the Mississippi River. Darrell received his river pilot's license when he was only 18. He had his career already lined out. After college and military time during the Vietnam War, he earned his MBA and set out on the rest of his life. But destiny had other ideas. The economy came to a screeching halt, and Darrell found himself looking for another calling. Little did he know, but that calling would be as a professional photographer, which was a perfect fit. He excelled in business and in personal growth, earning his master's degree, and writing books about Louisiana and the Bayou people he loved. He accepted a position as a college professor and fell in love with teaching, where he taught photography and fine art. And still, there was more he needed to do. He sensed the need to reinvent himself, perhaps just as you are feeling at this time in your career. His passion to create was even greater than ever. He wanted to achieve something that very few ever did. To make the transition from photography to traditional art. A leading publication discovered him, and in a story about his career, they described him as the new old master. This was exactly what he was hoping to achieve. A masterpiece is felt, not just seen. Take a moment to savor some of Darrell's images. Is it hard to transform from photography to painting? Perhaps it is. It requires a completely different mindset. An artist sees things more with his heart than he does with his eyes. It becomes a partnership between the subject and the artist. The challenge is for your art to be perceived as art, as a legitimate painting, and not as a photograph which has simply had its pixels smeared with a computer. The digital artist must be in control of the creative process. He must be the master of his tools so well that their use becomes second nature, allowing every image to speak for itself with instructions of how it should be painted. Every painting has its own unique personality. Darrell's process incorporates the use of 3 applications. Photoshop, which accounts for approximately 20% of the creative process. Corel Painter at first accounted for the remaining 80%. However, after a few years, Darrell determined something was missing. His finished paintings were not to the high standards upon which he insisted. With that realization, he became convinced that applying real oils to his digital canvases was absolutely necessary. This was scary, since he had little experience working with oils and brushes. However, in just a short time, his confidence and skills grew. The results speak for themselves. Isn't it time you took your art to a new level? Darrell's proven formula will get you there. 12 months of intense study of the old masters of both landscape and portrait. Combine their talents with Darrell's and be amazed with what happens to your art in a very short period of time. He will not abandon you, but will walk with you on your creative journey. Your journey does not end with the techniques of the Master's Mentoring Program. For those of you wishing to partake of a 4-day crash course with Darrell physically standing next to you, then check out Fanning the Flame. 4 intense yet fun days of learning and mixing with other driven students. 2 days dedicated to digital painting using Photoshop and Corel Painter. 2 days of painting your own creations with real oils and brushes. Working with both landscape and portrait paintings. It all takes place at Darrell's Cajun Cottage studio in Louisiana. Special lodging is available at a lovely state park just 4 miles away. What does this all cost? A better question would be, what will it cost if I do not separate myself from everyone else in my community? Darrell has invested many thousands into his transformation from a photographer into an artist. He's discovered every way it does not work along the way, so you will not have to experience the same. This I do know about Darrell. He will never stop learning and perfecting his craft. And this I also know. He will willingly share every bit of his knowledge and experience with everyone who's hungry to learn. This can be you. Your time is now. The world of art needs your talent. Join us by contacting Darrell immediately. To everyone who inquires about Darrell's mentoring program or workshops, he will send you one of his incredible tutorials showing how he creates his magic. It will be yours as a thank you for the asking.